Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this out there on the World Wide Web. This is Jeremy Geelan for SYS-CON TV here at 12th Cloud Expo, New York, as is Ken Ziegler from Logicworks. Welcome, Ken.
Thank you, Jeremy. Good to be here.
I'm not sure you've ever made it on that seat yet.
I don't think I have.
Welcome aboard. What do you think of Cloud Expo so far?
You know, it's amazing just how many folks are diving into this, and I'm really happy to see the turnout, and we're happy to be here.
Well, of course, it's not that amazing, is it? Let's really be honest. We're all riding shamelessly this wave, but why don't we drill down to that? What is it that Logicworks is serving up as they surf?
Well, you know, it's funny. This wave, you know, for us started really in the hosting industry, which has been around for, you know, quite some time at this point, you know, really since the late 90s. And we really got into high availability hosting and cloud solutions really as the late 90s came in, and then through the, you know, the early 2005 to 2010 timeframe. So this has been, you know, something that we're really pleased about, because people are finally realizing that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't differentiate you to really manage your own infrastructure. You should be focusing on your applications. You should be focusing on your business. And the you know, the proliferation of cloud has just, you know, made this thing explode to a point where now we no longer have to sell the concept of outsourcing your servers, because it really, you know, it just makes total sense.
I was going to ask you exactly that. Have you abandoned any need to evangelize? Sounds like you have.
Well, I think now it's about creating, really providing clarity in the marketplace, because everything's cloud washed. Everyone says that they do this and they do that, but when you really dig into the provider and you realize, all right, is this a automation play? Is this really a labor augmentation play? Is this something that's going to make me more efficient? You got to figure out which provider does what. So there's so many different companies, you know, fighting for, you know, different pieces of the pie, that you have to figure out which ones are the right fit for your business. So
how's Logicworks positioning itself? So within that, you know, how do you hit your points? In, you know, I guess you've sometimes only got 4 minutes to distinguish Logicworks from all those others.
Sure, you know, great question. I mean, I think the key is that you got to figure out, you know, you can go really mass market like AWS, and that makes sense, and it's really about providing scale and low price. So we'll take something like AWS and provide managed services around it. For clients that have real compliance needs and specific verticals like healthcare, we'll provide a fully compliant solution on, you know, traditional enterprise IT building blocks like EMC, VMware, and other things that enterprises can really rely on, and they can mix and match that, or we can mix and match that for them with tools like AWS to provide the right type of IT delivery solution. So that's really about, it's really about IT operations integration, and it's really about becoming an extension of our clients' IT operations. So it's not a sort of just outsourcing the hardware, it's about really having an expert bench of folks that you can count on in your overall IT delivery strategy.
Has a sort of client base emerged with any bias towards a particular vertical, or are you horizontal?
Sure, well, I think, you know, horizontally we have a big database practice, and we've got, you know, loads of software as a service companies, but I think that the verticals that are really a natural fit for this are healthcare, financial services, media. I mean, it's just, you know, the value proposition is sort of automatic for those types of companies around compliance and high availability and really managing traffic flows.
The growth is always thought of as exponential. I mean, is it really that? I mean, just healthcare alone, your mind begins to spin if you think of what the implications are if they finally digitize it.
Well, healthcare has been a late adopter to these services because there's been a lot of concern around compliance and those sorts of things. But I think as standards have evolved and companies have really gotten their head around, you know, meeting, you know, the compliance requirements, now they're really starting to get into the cloud and outsourcing infrastructure. But you know, there's a huge amount of legacy IT across all verticals that has not yet made its way to cloud. But healthcare is one of those ones that's beginning to really adopt at a faster pace. And the providers who have really figured out the right way to solve the compliance challenges are the ones that are going to win. And we think we're one of those companies.
Now, Logicworks has got a fantastic buzz out there. Is that coming from its CEO? I think it must be.
Well, you know, I think, you know, we've really done a great job building out a great team of engineering talent and incredible folks who can really integrate with our clients. And I think, you know, over time, reputation really, you know, this is something that it's like the internet. It can last forever. If you do something right, it starts, you know, coming back in the right ways for you. So I think our success is really about being around. We've been around. We've been in New York City for over a decade doing this, and we know we've got, you know, data centers all over the world at this point. But we've been known for the company you go to that who's going to really be accountable for your infrastructure. I think that's, you know, a big part of it, and the growth has been there, which is something we're appreciative of.
Validation as well. I think it's a fairly convincing pitch here from the CEO of Logicworks. I'm convinced, and if you go to logicworks.com, I'm sure you'll be convinced too. No?
I sure hope so.
Thanks so much, Ken Ziegler, for talking with us here at Cloud Expo New York. See you on the West Coast, I hope.
Hope so too, Jeremy. Thanks.
Thank you, and thank you for following along out there on the World Wide Web.